Hey everybody, it's Mike from Growtopia, and I just want to show people who are trying to figure out if they want to get into gardening or homesteading. And well, if you guys watched the earlier videos of this channel, you could see of this season is we didn't have all this corn. We didn't have peppers out here and squashes and zucchinis and corn over there, and we got citronella that I could literally just break it off and rub it on myself, and it helps deter mosquitoes. Citronella is also a very awesome companion plant for tomatoes, and I have absolutely no problem with my tomatoes at all this year with the citronella plants being so close by. And look at all these tomatoes. This is not following the rule that everybody talks about, where you got to trim them and cut your plants back and remove all your suckers. Look at these tomatoes. And all these tomatoes, and look how high it goes. And like I said, I'm 5'9". These tomatoes are over 6 feet. These are indeterminate tomatoes. As long as there's water, heat, and sun, these tomato plants, this year alone, and any kind of year, can actually get up to sizes of 12 feet and more. These aren't the kind of plants you get at your local Home Depot or Lowe's or garden center. These tomato plants are a vining tomato. It means you got to chase after them with tomato clips and strings. Otherwise, they will do this, where they will crawl away. Okay, this one right down here, see how big it is? I could just snip it on. So that's a little later. That's not on camera. But you can see all these tomato plants, tomatoes that are growing in here. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds. There's over 100 tomato plants in here in this whole growing area. Look, I got my, I think it's my lime that currently, I was walking by my lime before, right? Isn't this my lime? Yeah. And I'm like, man, I don't remember a lime having a yellow flower. And then I realized that it's actually one of the squashes that decided to make a one freaking U-turn and head straight to the lime. And the lime is doing good out here and sitting in a pot in the ground. We got our cucamelons, we got our sunflowers, and we got more and more and more tomato plants. Look at them all. See how they're just vining down the ground? I could just lift them right up and move them carefully out of my way, or I can put them up there. You got all kinds of stuff. Look, I got a cherry tree that's over here. I gotta literally move things around just to get around through here, right? Look at these things. Look at the color on that tomato. Freaking awesome. I'm waiting for those. I keep squeezing them every day. See if they're getting a little softer. They haven't really gone from being super hard yet. All these tomato plants over here. All of this. And I just now, I cleaned up. So I got rid of the 2 cabbages that were in here, that were ready, cut them out, and then I chaos planted. So what I did is I brushed the soil back, and I put down broccoli romacasa, Jersey cabbage Jersey Wakefield, cabbage Machi, and cabbage Copenhagen, and dragon carrots. And I just sprayed them out in there, and then I put my zucchini over there with the rest of my cucumbers that have been cranking. And yes, that's right, there's a cucumber is growing on the other side of the fence, and we do have rabbits, we got squirrels, we got birds and everything, but nothing at all bothers the plants because they're all well fed. But you could see the extremeness of this garden right now. We are in full bore as we speak. I'm trying to like get you guys up high enough to see it without the sun being in your face, but just give you guys like an idea. Everybody could do this. It's just, you got to find a couple hours out of your day and do it. It's not hard. This isn't something that takes, 20 hours a day. You start the plants indoors, you move them out into another center, like a greenhouse. You could get a small greenhouse, and then after that you put them out into where you want to grow, or you just directly sow them. And then just let them grow, and then just harvest. Once the cucumbers are planted, I'm not doing anything other than just taking the cucumber off the vine and having it. Yeah, there's another little cucumber, and there's another little cucumber. Because what really does the work in your garden is the bees. So you want to get things that attract bees. So I have a bunch of flowers, bulbs to be exact, and I'm going to be planting them in here. Now, one thing I've actually gotten asked from other people before is, like, see, like, there's some more cucumbers that are just, and I didn't think sticking cucumbers on these different sides, like I was trying to find really what's a good spot. There's one in the far over by where it says 1776 that didn't grow. So that side over here, and then down here are good. But I had people actually ask me like, hey, how do you deal with the weeds? I don't do anything, honestly. I let the weeds and everything do their thing. It's only until after the growing season is over and I'm pulling all the plants out that are done is when I start de-weeding. Now, as you guys can tell, obviously, from the other video, the carport is gone. I'm trying to sell 2 of my vehicles if people would stop flaking out on me. But whatever. But yeah, we got tomatoes growing on the outside of the fence. Nothing gets to them. Yeah, I don't do anything about the weeds. Yep. And watering for here right now, we're doing once every couple days. But now, as things are picking up with the plants, we started doing like every other day, and then sometimes, well, it is scheduled for today. So sometimes, depending on the weather, we'll do it. We might have to do it twice a day. Looks like there's some seeds or soil at the bottom of my coffee. They weren't there before when I left the house. What was I gonna say? Fertilizing. Everything is all natural fertilizer. Actually, one of the best fertilizers I use, I'll show you right now. Super easy to get. Takes you 10 seconds. So as I'm mowing my lawn, it all gets bagged, right? I take all my grass clippings and I put them off to the side. Now, I guess what I could do, and I take this and I go around the corn with it, actually. So this is like nice, this is good in nutrients, nitrogen and nutrients. So the best fertilizer for your lawn is the grass cuttings from it. And also it's free. So originally I was going to put the greenhouse here, but now it's been my dumping pile of miscellaneous stuff. I keep cutting that sucker back and it keeps coming back. Freaking annoying. But I mean, this is such an easy thing for everybody that they could do. That's why I got to do the clips. I'm going to shut the gate. Leave my soil-filled coffee. You could also, you could do it in a greenhouse. If you don't feel like putting it out into your yard because you're afraid of like deer and stuff, just fence in your yard. It's not hard. Or just get a greenhouse. Get a greenhouse, assemble it yourself or with friends. And you can grow all kinds of cool stuff. Like, we got radishes in here. We got a cricket in here. This is peanuts that are growing in the back. These are my, almost given up on them about 80 times. They're coming back super good right now, so it's kind of interesting. These are my heliconias. And they died out when I had them outside in the front yard. Now they're in the greenhouse and they're looking better than they were when I bought them. So I was gonna tell them like, hey, I want my money back. These things freaking died, but now they're coming back. So my stupidity. And then we go to the other greenhouse, and unfortunately sometimes there are a little bit of failures when you are gardening. I should really move this cabbage and put that cabbage outside like this right here. I have no idea what got to the head of this cabbage. So it's gotta come out. See the root system on this thing. That is some big root system. So I'm not sure what got to it. I'm thinking maybe, I hope it wasn't a cabbage beetle, but it might have been. Could have been a cabbage beetle. Or, I mean, whatever it did, it definitely looks like it had a nice meal. I'm not gonna lie. just sitting there munching on it, whatever the hell it was. But you know, you win some, you lose some. And then, like I said, so sometimes you got to get in here and move stuff out for sure, otherwise stuff won't grow. So like all these cabbages that I have in here, right, like this right here, these green cabbages, they got to go out into that cabbage patch that we were just in. And like I said, unfortunately I've been kind of like neglecting things a little bit, but like we have carrots in here that are growing like there's no tomorrow, and they've been in here for a while. There's a tomato plant like just mixed into here, and then I got a tiny Tim back there. The tiny Tim is trying to find some sunlight. So tiny Tims are perfect because they're determinate tomatoes. They're what you're most likely able to see at your garden center, and they only grow to about a foot tall. So I got to go through there, take all that stuff out, and then put it into Growtopia, aka the orchard. This whole area is Growtopia, but everything has, the orchard got its name because originally it was going to be an orchard. And it started off that way. There's apple trees, cherry trees, peaches in there. Apple, cherry, peach, something else, tropical fruit, or multi-fruit. And then that's when I decided to start this. And then, you know, then I had it on the ground and animals were getting to it. Then I put a fence around it. And then now it's this thriving, crazy insanity that I call my life. Anyway, guys, this is Mike from Growtopia. Hope you guys got something out of this. Like, subscribe, share it with your friends and family, and get out there and grow something. And if this was you, how did the cabbage taste? Later.